Happy Friday, Headliner Nation. Chris Kennedy here with the Fantasy Headliners, getting you ready for week 13 of the NFL slate for DFS this week. Now, last week we had some hits, we had some misses. We were about 50-50. Unfortunately, I still have not been able to nail down the tight end as far as DraftKings is concerned. So hopefully we can turn that around this week. But before we get started, I do want to mention to everybody that if you haven't become a member of Patreon, I highly recommend that you start doing that. We offer a variety of different tiers, starting at $1, going all the way up to $20. And I know in my videos, I give you one play at each position for DFS, but with our MVP Patreon package for $20 a month, you get full access to all of my DFS content. I do it for the NFL, I do it for golf, and I'll also be doing it for the NBA season, which kicks off at the end of this month. So for just $20 a month, you will win back your money in DFS and pay for that $20 subscription per month. So head over to thefantasyheadliners.com, subscribe to Patreon. The MVP package, again, it's $20 a month. And not only do you get DFS content, but you get access to our exclusive Discord channel with all the other MVP members where you get to chat with all of them, along with everyone over at the Fantasy Headliners. You get access to our Straight Shot podcast that we record every single week, and also exclusive articles that you won't find anywhere else. So just a few things to really help you get going for your fantasy season and something to look forward for next year for the 2021 year as well. So now this week for DraftKings, I want to talk about a few guys that I really am looking at this week that I haven't talked about in previous videos. So starting off at quarterback, I'm going with Taysom Hill. He's somebody who I normally wouldn't have played in DraftKings or even season long, to be honest with you, just because he doesn't have that passing upside. But the thing with Taysom Hill is that since he's taken over as a starting quarterback temporarily, he has scored at least 2 rushing touchdowns in each of his last 2 games. He's been averaging 21 DraftKings points per games over those 2 games as well. And at $6,300, that is a great price tag for somebody who only needs to get you 12 to 13 DraftKings points to hit value in cash games. And this is somebody, again, averaging over 20 points per game. He's certainly on his way to hit that value. Now, he's going up against the Falcons defense that really shocked a lot of people last week against the Raiders. And I'm going to chalk that up to being more of an anomaly. I don't know if they're going to be able to continue that type of success, especially on the defensive end, because they've been so horrendous in pass coverage in general. Now, I know Taysom Hill is not somebody that's going to burn you for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he is someone that can probably get you 150 to 175 passing yards, along with 30 to 4 rushing yards and a touchdown or 2 on the ground. And that's where the upside is with Taysom Hill this week. So Taysom Hill, $6,300. That's my favorite play for the quarterback position. Going over running back, somebody who I didn't think was going to get thrown right into the fire, but he absolutely was. And that was Austin Eckler. Right now, this week, he's at $7,100, which I think he's pretty well reasonably priced, especially for his skill set. He wasn't very effective on the ground last week, but he did get 14 rushing attempts. He only had about 3 yards per carry, but where he did the majority of his damage was in the passing game. This past week, he caught 11 of 16 targets for 85 yards, didn't find the end zone, but that's okay because just because of those receptions alone, DraftKings is a full PPR format, and that gets you a bunch of the points right there alone. So this week with Austin Eckler, again, I don't care if he's super efficient on the ground, but as long as he's getting those targets and those receptions, I'm more than happy. $7,100 going up against the Patriots, who have shown they cannot stop the run this year. They've been awful against running backs. They've been allowing about 25 DraftKings points per game to opposing running backs. So I love Austin Eckler here in this spot. Moving on to wide receiver. A guy who's now, without being asked to, has now become the team's #1 wide receiver, and that is Brandin Cooks of the Houston Texans. He's currently priced at $5,600, and he doesn't have Will Fuller on the other side of him because Fuller is, as you all know, has been suspended for the remainder of the season for PED use. So Brandin Cooks, somebody who's going to get thrown into the spotlight right now. He does have back-to-back games of 80-plus receiving yards, and I really do look for his target share to start to increase just because he's now that #1 guy. And let's be honest, Deshaun Watson is going to need somebody to throw the ball to. It's going to be Cooks. It might be Kiki Kuti, but my money's on Cooks this week and going forward. He's only $5,600. He's going up against the Colts defense that's been pretty stingy against wide receivers, but again, the volume should be there for Cooks. The Texans aren't a great team, so where they're most likely going to be trailing, Watson's going to have to air the ball out, and Cooks is going to be the number one target. So again, $5,600. I really do like Brandon Cooks to step into that number one role going forward for the rest of the season. Finally, we're going to go to a tight end spot here, a area where I have not been able to hit on any of my picks, I think, in any of these videos so far this season, but I've got a good feeling about this one. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Kyle Rudolph, Minnesota Vikings, only $3,400. Irv Smith Jr. did not practice on Thursday. I don't know if he's going to play this Sunday. It's not looking too good right now. So if he doesn't play, I love Kyle Rudolph. While Rudolph did not see the end zone last week, he did have 7 catches for 68 yards and was targeted 8 times. So for me, that's enough, especially at his price point, to consider him a really good value. He's also going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars defense that has allowed a league-high 9 touchdowns to tight ends this year. So $3,400, Kyle Rudolph is a great, great value. And again, he only needs 6 to 7 DraftKings points to hit value. Those are my picks for week 13. I'm really hoping that we can go 4 for 4 this week, you guys. But other than that, that's all I've got for you. Have a great week and have a fun Sunday. Talk to you later.